So I'm just going to do a little test now, just to ensure that we are live. Hang on, your channel, and it looks like we are. Yes, excellent. So hello, welcome everyone. I'm here taking you through the next couple of hours. So I'm here to see out the last 2 hours of the race. I'm running slightly late tonight, but to be expected. I'm always running late for everything. I'll be late for my own funeral. So I'm just about to very quickly post my... How do I get this link? So I must take that. Share. There we go. And I'll just make sure I'm on the right channel first of all. Socials. It won't be long, guys. Unorganised as always, but we'll get to the action in a little bit. And I just pick Discord, and it should post up now. And that's us. So there we go. I hope everyone has enjoyed the first 6 hours and 6 minutes of this race. I now have 2 people watching. Hello everyone. I'll try and keep up with as much of the action as I possibly can, and also I'll try and keep in touch with you guys on the live stream as well, just to see what sort of comments are coming in. If there's anyone that you would like to get a shout out, then let me know. But I'm here to take the Formula Racing League Endurance Swap main event 8 hours at Indy to its fruition. And then we've got a nice wee Brucey bonus, a nice wee surprise right at the end of the stream as well. Hopefully the winners, which it looks like right now we've kind of got a clear cut, but anything can happen, anything at all. But right now it looks like Apex Online Racing are very much in tow for the win. But let's see what unfolds over the next hour and 53 minutes. But those guys, hopefully I can get them in for an interview at the end, just to get their final thoughts and whatnot. And if anyone's got any questions or anything at all, then please do so, put them onto the main chat feed. That'd be great. So looking at the action just now, if we go to the front runner first of all, so Apex Online, they're in a very beautiful red and green Ferrari, car number 14. I know we had a little bit of a mishap earlier, a bit of a disconnection, and the race itself restarted again, so that added a little bit of a swing on things. But that's seen a lot of changes near the top and mid pack as well. But right now, I'll go through the grids and just have a little bit about IRL Black. They're running in second place with Team Phoenix 1, or Phoenix 1, sorry, closing behind and 24 seconds behind. In fourth place we've got the French Connection. That's Will Friedman, usually kind of heads up that team. So we've got Bellamy in the car at the moment. And then in fifth place we've got Slow Motion Racers. Hardly slow motion when, first of all, they're running a McDonald's livery, so the most viewers should you put... I just couldn't get linked on Hutch, but thanks very much. That's it might do it favours, I don't know. But Slow Motion Racers are currently in fifth place. They're very, very close behind French Connection, so we'll watch that unfold as it happens. So we have Buzzov currently in the car for SBR Europe. Running in sixth place, and a very, very beautiful looking panda laden Mercedes with a couple of green leaves in the bum. And then with seventh place we have car number 100, Southern State Racing, in a lovely McLaren with a kind of half and half. I like it, I like it. Team Year 1, currently running in 8th place, car number 39. The second Beamer in the top 10. Then we've got Nordic E-Racing in 9th place, and a beautiful British green Aston. That doesn't make sense. And then we've got BRC Racing Team in the Honda, which looks like the only Honda on the grid, rounding off the top 10. Thanks very much. You always come on and call me that, GR, but we'll refrain from any profanities tonight. I'll keep it nice and viewer friendly. How does that sound? In the 11th place, we've got Race Club UK. Now, Race Club UK are running a McLaren black and red livery, um, with the Audi, and ISS Racing Team closely following behind in 12th place. PG13, that's correct. You are correct. VRL Jota Sports, car 99. I think I've had a little bit of a race with them earlier on when I was on track myself. We'll talk about the races that I'm not taking part in at another time, but thanks very much for asking, Alan. In 14th place, we've got Virtual Racing League in the Mercedes, car number 723, and he's been closely followed by Law. Again, this is going to be another battle that we can watch unfold, and right now we'll kind of keep it. We'll keep the stream on here. This looks like it's going to be quite intense. Wall Racing Team in 16th place. In 17th, we've got Team Phoenix 2. So that looks like we've got 2 teams in there. Oh, and then in 18th place, we've got CTDB Esports, car number 303. Baltic Sea Racing. Okay, don't know what that's all about, but that looks like it's our first Porsche on the grid. Is that correct? It is indeed. And then we've got Overmaniacs. I like that name, that's pretty good actually. Running a little bit of a kind of amber ping there, but hey ho. What's in P24? Oh yes. SBR GBR, so we've got another Mercedes 589 running in 21st. Now I wonder why the SBR teams are way down there. I know the Buzzov probably running alongside Ben Milden and whatnot, but the second SBR GBR are way down in 21st. I wonder what's happened there. Ignition Sim Racing in 22nd place in the Mercedes car number 10. Turn 1 Sim Racing. Oh, that's our very own Nisbet, who's currently driving the car at the moment in 23rd place. Then we've got the FRL Racing Team. So we'll come back to the action in a minute. We just need to have a wee look at this black and pink, yellow and white, green, white and red livery in car number 214 for FRL. And then in 25th place, car number 21, we've got African Thunder. And last but not least, the team that I was involved in, I came in, I popped myself in the car. I was working all day today, so I managed to get in, get home, get myself sorted, get composed to sit in the car at the back of the grid. That's where I'm used to driving, so that doesn't matter. But that rounds off the grid of 26. I would imagine we had more cars. I'm not sure if there's been a few disconnections and whatnot, but we'll stick with the action as best we can. So right now, if we go back to Law, these guys are putting on the pressure big time with Virtual Racing League. Maiska is doing his bit. He's actually getting a really good exit. He's covering his apexes. He's slightly moving over in the middle of the track here. Then he kind of moves back. So he's allowed that one move. If you weave down the track, it's a wee bit naughty, but he's done the right thing here. He's covered his apex. Law's not shown his nose, so I think he's just very comfortably running behind him, maybe waiting for some kind of, I don't know, some kind of mistake to happen. But right now it looks like he's hitting all of his apexes. He's currently also very it looks like he's been held up actually. Yeah, he's moved out the road. So car 100's a bit of a he's actually up ahead, and he's actually just not moving out the road at all. So these guys are faster, and it looks like Law's trying to take advantage of this move, but free wide bang, there's a little bit of a touch, a small door bang, but that's what happens in hard racing, especially with these guys. Some of these guys are super fast. Oh, that's been a little bit of a hit there. 2 hits. Virtual Racing Team and Law back at it again. I don't know what happened there. Too busy kind of looking at the car that was kind of holding them up, even though he is a front runner. Hutch, we got disconnected. We were right behind second in class, and I think we got disconnected, but we were right behind first. Oh man, unlucky for that. That's a nightmare. But let's just have a little look and see what we can see here. We've got car 888. He's running on his own. So the track itself, it's very, very spread. So there's only a couple of like kind of close battles happening just now. So we've got car 72. That's our lovely team. And right now Nikon, who is actually producing some very, very fast times actually. It's probably the fastest in our team itself. He's applying the pressure. Such a beautiful livery as well. And he's actually sitting right behind second place. Some nice close bumper to bumper racing going into turn 1. Looks like he's carrying a bit of damage there as well though, so that's something that will need to be fixed when they get into the pits again and do either their driver swap or just top up the field, a little bit of a repair so you can go back out and secure that second spot. But he's got Team Phoenix 1, which is close on his heels. He's actually picking up ground fast. That damage on IRL Black's BMW, I don't know if that's going to be causing him any kind of top end speed. See, he's had to let Nikon through there. Nikon was faster than him. So I think what's going to happen here is IRL is going to lose this place because he's got a very, very nimble, fast, quick 488 Ferrari right on his tail. He's giving him a little flash. Obviously, this is just a tactic to tell him to get out the road, but they're actually for position. So he's defending the apexes like he's allowed to. And the Ferrari, it definitely will have a faster top end, so let's see what he can do here. Just coming out onto the main straight. The BMW cuts across and holds right down, hugging the wall. So he's going to try and make it as hard as possible for the Ferrari, but it looks like the Ferrari is going to take him here in the straight. And he's now going to switch over and cover this apex. Yeah, so that damage is causing massive effect. So what's going to happen now is until IRL Black gets that sorted, he's just going to keep on losing pace. And he's got the French connection slowly catching them as well. So he's going to need to do something and do it fast. Maybe if he pits now or pits very soon, he can try and recover that back, because everyone else will have the same issue. They'll have to pit at least another once if they've just pitted. I don't know what the sequence of driver swaps are right now, but we'll just have a little look and see what's going on here. So let's go and have a look at Apex Racing. He's nice and comfortable out in front. He's just putting in the laps. He's holding fastest lap as well, but that's to be expected with the Apex or the AOR guys, the Apex Online Racing guys. They're usually very, very fast. Everything they take part in touches to gold. to have a look and see what's going on here in the middle of the pack. So CTTB Esport currently running in 18th position. He's way out there ahead. Baltic Sea Racing. Let's have a look. Yeah, way behind. So we've got a battle commencing here as well. So VRL Jota and ISS Racing Team are bumper to bumper. This is going to see some action unfolding as well, and I wonder, he's shown the nose there and he's managed to avoid the contact, but a fast exit into turn 2, round to the sweeping right hander here. You come off your brake, you touch your brakes, coast into the corner, and then you floor it, and it's foot to the floor all the way around here, and then hard on the brakes. The McLaren is wobbling a little bit there, but he's given absolutely no respite for car 155 at all in the slightest. He's keeping him on his toes. He's got a really good exit there, but car 155 ISR Racing, Cataldo, he's actually covering that apex really well. That's going to be an extremely hard overtake. Now that's contact. Now that's the McLaren turned into him there, I think, and he's not giving that position back at all. They've been fighting hard, so he's just going to take off. Not very sportsmanlike, but that's racing, I'm afraid. That's racing. So let's go back and see how things are going with Law and Maiska. Again, bumper to bumper. So Law and Maiska and Franca and Cataldo are the only battles that are happening on track just now. The rest is kind of very spread thin. But we've got IRL Black closing that gap and Phoenix 1. Or Phoenix 1, I keep on saying Phoenix. Now it looks like the French Connection has now taken third spot. We knew that was going to happen. These guys are nice and consistent and fast. And I'm afraid IRL Black's carrying that damage. He's going to need to do something fast because he's losing too many places. That's two spots in two laps. And that was very nice of Nikkonen to get out the road there. He's just getting in there, deep in the race, and he is quicker, but he's moving out the road of the cars. That's very gentlemanly like. Giving a wee flash of his rain light there in the nice searing heat. That's a bit of a funny one. But he's running wide, he's taking out signage, he's taking out markers. I wonder what was going on there with Nikkonen. I've just been having a little bit of a laugh with Nikkonen and Clark in our chat just before I'd come in here, so I wonder what was going on there. I'll need to go in and find that out. But Slow Motion Racers, they're currently holding a nice strong 5th place. They are closely followed by Buzzov. Now Buzzov in that Mercedes is only, what is he? 6 seconds back. I wonder if he can close that gap. Buzzov is very good at doing that. He's very good at being consistent and fast at the same time, so it's a good combination, especially when you're trying to gain some spots. Well, if we go back and see how our action is unfolding. Oh, Cataldo's fell back slightly, and it looks like VRL Jota still just not, he's not yielded that place back, so I wonder what's going to happen there, if his teammates are going to maybe put a wee ticket in for that. We'll see how that unfolds. But Law and Maiska, these guys, relentless all over each other. Maiska's fell back ever so slightly. It could be these tyres are maybe taking its toll. If stints have been working correctly and these guys have planned it in, then he's maybe coming to the sort of tail end of his stint, which means his tyres are maybe not as proficient. But it's always tight between these guys. They know what they're doing, they know how the cars are set up, they know how to take care of their tyres and go fast at the same time. I'll need to get in their ear and work out how to do that myself. I consistently don't know how to do that, so I normally personally run near the back of the grid. But that's, I just love the game, I don't care. I'm there for the giggle factor. It looks like we've now got 11 people watching. If anybody wants to give a wee comment, or if there's anyone that you want to get a shout out for, then do so on the stream. We've got an hour and a half left to go, guys. It's been a very, very interesting 6.5 hours with a bit of a disconnect in between. So the CPU itself seems to be kind of getting loaded up, as you can see at the bottom left hand there. There's the odd wee kind of glitch, but it's holding fast. It's 6:34 PM in the evening on the server. We've got Yorkshire Mick giving a shout out to Race Club. Thank you very much, Yorkshire Mick. So Race Club are currently running in the 11th spot at the moment, and they're sporting a beautiful black and red livery. Nice and cushy. We've got Franca closing the gap. He's even better. Give a shout out to Yorkshire's missus. Make her happy. I took TV for the day. Well, hello, Yorkshire's missus. Just make sure when you get the TV back, Mrs. MRS, very good. So when you get the TV back, that you get him into the kitchen doing the dishes. That way you can get your own back. And if he doesn't, then just fall out with him and give him the silent treatment. I know how that works. So yeah, so Race Club UK, sporting number 211 on the Macca, just trudging the laps out. We are 10 seconds behind P2. Oh, well, excellent. So you are 10 seconds behind P2, and I think Bellamy is actually putting in some stellar. And you started in P27, that has got to be the drive of the day. Yorkshire, I'm very sorry if I'm going to get you into trouble with that. Excellent. I'll be quiet, I'll not get you into trouble. But that's an absolutely fantastic a hero drive from Fire Victor on the stream itself, on the comments. That definitely is. That's got to be worth a shout out. So the French Connection have went from P27, so you must have took advantage of the disconnect when all cars were then sort of bunched back up again. And that way you could have, you've closed that ground down, and then you had the opportunity to take advantage of anyone with any mishaps and cold tyres and stuff. Because I know how consistent you are yourself, Will. So anyone else in your team, you've probably picked your team well, so well done. That's a very good drive indeed. I wonder how it's going to unfold. I wonder if you'll get second spot. Top spot, now that's a different story. So the red flag worked. Well, that's exactly what I thought. With the red flag, it's came with the advantage of a lot of drivers. Maybe you had a couple of mishaps right at the start of the race, but AOR are away out and ahead. They are 2 laps ahead. There's 127 laps have been sort of done so far. I think something similar would have happened before the disconnect. So But these guys, it's only taken them 127 laps to pretty much show exactly what sort of pace they've got. 2 laps ahead. I mean, I think they're untouchable unless they have some kind of freak disconnect or whatever. And you know these things happen. It's just sometimes it happens quite unorthodoxly. Well, in this particular scenario, well, that would be definitely considerable. But to go from 27th, what did you say? So 27th, so all the way from the back to here. I would like to have seen AOR are definitely not from this planet. They are 100% built from aliens' DNA. But we do have some very, very fast FRL drivers involved in the team that's currently running in 3rd place. So I wouldn't take anything away from how fast and alien-like you are yourself, Will, and your teammates. So very commendable drive, and I'm probably going to say that's, before the race is even finished, that's got to be the drive of the day. We just can't have any mishaps. Why would you not be in a chat with him? I would get yourself in and get yourself ready just in case he does. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. You need to be in a chat together so that you can speak and determine whether or not he does want you in and what your tyre pressures are going to be and give you the countdown, etc. How much litres you would like in the car. I mean, you just need to talk live strategy. Get in a chat, come on. I was in the chat for the first time with Clark and Carmassa and Jackie earlier on, and I think we just ended up having a bit of a ball and a laugh. There was nothing to it. No strategy chat, no nothing. Yeah, they're not a big deal, especially for a person like yourself. You kind of know. You get a general idea what they need to be. So, I mean, as long as they're not way off. Well, I won't repeat the word that you say. I would like to keep this stream away from any profanities whatsoever. So, but yes, definitely. But as this race unfolds, we'll go back to the law. Oh, it looks like we've had Maiska has dropped another position. So Law has kind of pulled away, to be fair. And he's got Durand for Southern State Racing right on his heels. And Maiska, if you do run the list, well, whatever times you're putting in, it's got to be up there with the kind of 36s, 37s race pace, I would imagine. I would say only Tom. Well, if he can close that gap for you. It's very, very strange though that you guys have got an AM tag on your car. I wonder how that goes. So currently you are pole in your class. However, there is only 4 AMs on the grid. But we are running 3 separate classes here today, just so that anyone, if they didn't know, the way we've structured it is we did a kind of knockout qualifying session yesterday, which dictated what class you ran in. And yeah, because I had to change start positions, right? Okay. And we are running a Pro class, a Pro-Am class and an Am class. So right now we have 3 poles on grid. Right now we've got Apex, who's way out in front, who's uncatchable. So he's going to definitely, I think, over the course of the next hour, 25 minutes, secure that win. Oh, the Ferrari there, just ahead of Will's team. I'm kind of touching the wall, I wonder what it was one doing there. We've then got BRC Racing Team in the sort of winning position for Pro-Am. And then we have Will's team, who are in the winning position for Am. But let's just have a little see what he's saying here. So you must have qualified quite far down the line then, for you to be in the Am, because you're definitely not an Am driver. Yeah, I've seen that earlier on, so the correct classes are on the announcements. But again, right at the end of this event, we're going to try and get, yeah, I've seen that. We're going to try and get an interview with the winner, just so that we can get a little bit of their thoughts and their strategy and whatnot and how things panned out, and maybe try and get a little bit of an inclination as to how these guys are as fast as they are. That'd be lovely. If they gave us some secrets, hints and tips, that'd be delightful. But this is a sort of three-way battle here. We've got Southern State Racing and ISS Racing Team very, very close to each other. And if these guys work smart, they'll be able to catch and close down SVR Endurance, which is we've got Law sitting in the driving seat at the moment. But as it stands, it's just slowly trickling away, leaving these two to battle out. But, I mean, you've had 3 warnings. Have you had a drive-through? I left my team with 2 warnings in the car. The track limits here can sometimes get you. If Thomas has no drive-through after 3 hours, he's a master. Yes. It's a very, very difficult track not to get that, because there's little snippets here and there that do catch you out. But it's the tyre wear. When your car understeers when you're trying to push it, you've got to just come off the throttle, take the hit and lose a place, or if you put the foot down, the car itself can then lose control, and then that's it, you pick up your limits. But right now we have a very, very that, in fact, that was probably one of the best moves I think I've seen at that section of the track. So we had George Durand pushing the car and letting that tyre rubber hug and stick to the floor, and he managed to hold it and took the position from Cataldo. Well done, excellent, really good racing. Now what we're going to see is George Durand closing that gap between him and Law. Law is only just up the road, just short of 5 seconds in it. So let's see how that Maka and that gap pans out. And then we've got Franca and Race Club UK. They're kind of falling back. So what it's probably looked like, if that in fact it has, VRL Jota, who's currently being driven by Franca, was being held up. So he's made that move. He's disappeared and he's leaving Race Club UK for dust. So let's go and have a look and see how Clates is getting on. So he's in a lovely white and golden, what looks like blue Mercedes. He is just firing around the track. 458. 4 433. He's 2 places ahead. Ah, that's for us. Okay. And a lap ahead as well, so he's not catching that anytime soon. But the gap has got closer and closer between the French Connection and Team Phoenix 1. So I think it's inevitable. If Tom keeps doing what he's doing and then hands a car over to Will, I think we're going to see a change of position. But let's see how that goes. Obviously, Team French Connection are running first in class. Well, as it says on here, but I don't think you are. So yeah, that'll be sorted out at the end. What I will say is, we're going to see some action. We're going to see some really good action actually. So we have slow motion racers slowly but surely catching buzz off in the SBR Europe. A Merc versus an Audi. The Audi itself has just got absolute crazy top end speed, and exit speed's frightening if you can get that car set up correctly, which a lot of these guys can do because they understand how it works. They can push the cars to the absolute maximum. But as you've seen there quite delightfully, the sun is starting to set. We've got an hour and 19 minutes to go, and I think we're going to see some nice sunsets, and we're going to see some really nice dusk conditions for a finish, so you might get some headlights on as well, to bring us to the close of what's been an extremely interesting, very action-packed 8 hours of Indy. Now, at this point, I'm just going to give a little bit of a shout out to all of the admins that have been working so hard in the background. Our seasons have just came to an end. We had our signature Tackle Tuesday, which is over 10 races, and it had 3 tiers in there. Some really stacked grids, some jaw-dropping qualifying sessions. And when I say jaw-dropping, I'm talking a full grid separated by the likes of 1.5 seconds, which is it's been the closest year so far in FRL, the closest season, sorry, so far in FRL on the tackle front. Now, we had some very good battles, and it kind of went to the wire pretty much across the board. So watch out for the posts coming out. But on that note, Season X, so Tackle Season X or Season 10, is now live for everyone to get themselves signed up on, choose their cars, get some lovely liveries, etc. put in there. But what we're doing is we've put 120 slots available so that we can try and see if we can actually go for 4 tiers. So if we can get enough drivers to take part, then we're going to split it over 4 tiers. Right, enough you. That channel is for adult use only, but yes, Tackle Season XNXX. No, Tackle Season X, and it was an amazing season. I mean, like I say, some of the best driving I've ever seen taking part in. I'd not some no bad performances myself, but it comes to the crunch, sometimes I just fold and end up, I get caught up in too many things. But anyway, the next series that's then available is our Thursday late night. There's a little bit of a spin on it this year, so it's going to be our 4th late night season. And this time round we're actually going to do a little bit of a mixed grid, so we're looking at GT3s and GT4s on track, so it's a small and soft introduction again to the GT4 cars, again back onto the FRL roster. They were extremely popular before when we used to do our Thursday GT4 series. Start again. This time we're introducing it to a mixed grid, so it's a late night drive. We're going to have 10 GT4s on track and 20 GT3s, and we're just going to mix it up, and that way, oh, we've got a car that's left the server. It looks like we now only have 25 running, but I'll get back to that in a wee second. So our late night series, it's just came to an end, is then reopening with a nice new, yeah, I think it was, a nice new introduction to the GT4s again. Oh, we've got the car number 10. It's just went off track there, but I think he done the right thing there. Come off his accelerator. What a beautiful livery that is, but he's come off his accelerator there just to ensure that he didn't cause any damage to anyone coming back on track, so that was very well done. Oh no. It looks like Will Friedman's team have just been disconnected. Oh no, that is absolutely devastating. So to go from the back of the pack to go all the way back up to third spot to then be disconnected again when it looks like Will Friedman's come into the car. Yes, Jacko, that's absolutely devastating. Unbelievable. Well, I think it's the commentator's curse. I gave you the drive of the day without even finishing, and look what's happened. I'm so sorry. That's devastating. That's been a lot of hard work to get you guys back up there, taking full advantage of a red flag, getting those positions back on track, and then for the game itself to disconnect you. That's devastating. I'm so sorry to see that. So we'll get back to what we're talking about. So the late night series is now going to be available to GT4 and GT3, so let's see if we can get that grid stacked. And then our first ever series that started on FRL is our Sunday Pure Sim Gear. That's also in its Season X or Season 10, or as Will just says, Season XNXX. And I think Clark will be in the car, because I think Nikon is indeed. So Nikon has handed the car over to Clark, and Clark's going to see us out to the end. We aren't in last place anymore, so that's a good thing, but that is absolutely devastating. That's Will now trickling out of the pits. They'll have had a 3-minute lock as well for being disconnected and come back in, and it's actually moved you right to the very, very, very bottom of the pack. That's unbelievable. Let's see what we can do over the course of the next 1 hour and 12 minutes. But our signature season, our very first season, sorry, that FRL had kind of come up with was our Sunday Pure Sim Gear series, and it's that popular that we now have it set up so that if you're going to come take part, there's 60 slots, and what we're looking to do is to split that over 2 tiers. So that's our 3 main series, and then we've also got our second series of the driver swap, which is also now available. So that's currently being ran by Axel, Lewis and Will. So that went down very, very well. It's our ESA 28 endurance series that went down really well last season. This time round, same setup. So get yourselves onto the PS5 sign-ups page channel. Go and have a look, have a read, see if it tickles your fancy, if you've got the time to take part and commit to the calendar. What we're looking for is people to be committed. What we're looking for as well is for the mindsets of everyone to change. None of this rage quit malarkey. We like people to take part in races and stay in the server to the dying end, irrespective of what happens. The reason for doing that is you get a slice of the DR pie. So every single time you're on track and you don't take part in qualifying, or you decide to quit out of the server before the race finishes, you get absolute nada. You get nothing from the DR side of things. Now DR, you ask what is that? For anyone that isn't aware, we run a driver rating system that's been devised by our wonderful James, the CEO. The DR takes your races that you've taken part in and goes against what the results have been on a very, very sophisticated scoring system, and it allows us to see who falls into what class. And going forward, we're going to have a pro, a pro-am, a pro, a silver, a pro-am and an am. So what that's going to do is determine who runs in what class when it comes to the new series. So watch out for this coming out. There's going to be a few changes happening, and then what that's going to, but it's determined on the amount of people that would like to sign up and take part. So that's what I'm going to say is, everyone, after you've taken part here, if you've not done it already, get over to the sign up channel, go and have a look and see what series are up and running and ready to go, and we'll see you on track. A wee bit of a structure shuffle, and we should see some really, really, really tight grids going into Season X, so I'm looking forward to it. So that's enough of a plug. We need to go back to the track and see what's going on here, but we've got a nice gaggle of cars with car 488 right at the front. Is it 488? Is indeed. So Team Phoenix 1, who doesn't have to worry about the added pressure of Will Friedman's the French Connection on his case anymore, which means he can just take it easy for the next hour and 8 minutes and try and secure that second spot, because I think he was going to lose it. The French Connection were 100% going to take that place from them, because they were slowly but surely catching and closing that gap. Clark is in the car now. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But Buzzov, I think they've done enough now. They are holding that position very well, actually. And it looks like position 4, Nordic Racing, they've maybe pitted to get like a driver swap. This is us now coming up to the last hour as well, so you might see a lot of cars who have ran over their stint time deliberately so that they have that shorter stint at the end. They can just very quickly go in, change their car, change their driver, get nice new tyres on there, and floor it to the end. But right now, Apex are way out in front, literally just driving Miss Daisy, going round the track, holding the fastest lap, probably sipping on a cold one whilst he's doing it. But Vermeulen is now in the car, so let's see what we can do with this. And Team Phoenix 1, yes, they have changed to Bidzogo, sorry. But Buzzov, he might be seen as out to the end, I don't know. I wonder what they've got in store for us for the last hour. Nordic E-Racing, he's still got Jorgensen in the car. I wonder if there's anyone that's actually done the entire 8 hours themselves. That'd be a nice one to find out. Giggle. Giggle and the Slow Motion Racers is currently sitting nicely in 5th place, with BRC Racing in 6th. Franca is now up to 7th place and Law in 8th, so there's definitely been a little bit of a shuffle with George Deronde applying the pressure. This is a nice battle unfolding here, and IRL Black are still trudging around with that damage, so he's losing time every single lap. It's not a good strategy at all. Get in and get that car fixed. But these two here, I think these two are going to have a very interesting last hour. They have actually been, you can't get a fag paper between these two. They have just been stuck to each other like glue The odd wee door bang here or there, but they're having an absolutely fantastic time of it. The Will Friedman's... Oh, I don't know what's happened there. It says something 137 laps plus. What? See, I don't know what's happened there. That's not good. That's as if they've come back into the server as a completely new person. That's what's happened there. So there's nothing that they can do. They can't get any places back whatsoever. I wonder what's happened there. Yeah, it's T. Bellner that's back in the car as well. It's not Will. But we've got M. Clark, who's currently pushing nice and hard round the track. We've got Klassen in 24th place, who's 3 laps ahead. Then another 2 laps ahead of that is Lewis Robinson, one of our very own admins running in the Ferrari for FRL racing team, currently trudging round in 23rd place. With Dan, another budding admin for FRL, running under Turn 1 Sim Racing in 22nd place. Ignition Sim Racing in 21st. Really nice livery on that as well, I quite like that. And then Baltic Sea Racing in 20th, the only Porsche on the grid. Don't know how he's managed to survive. The car is an absolute monster. It wants to kill you every corner, so he's obviously got a nice setup there because it looks like he's pushing hard. Over Maniacs in 19th place, Wall Racing Team in 18th, SBR GBR in that beautiful Mercedes in 17th place, Virtual Racing League in 16th place with Vondrasek currently in the seat, and it might be him that's taking that team to the end. ISS Racing Team with Gibbon in the car. And then we've got Race Club UK, now back down to 14th, was running in 11th, now down to 14th. There's obviously been a driver swap there, of course. That's how tight the track's been. They've swapped the driver, they've lost 3 spots. But we've got Mr. Godden currently taking them to the end of the 8 hours. Massa, he's a new driver as well. He's obviously taking the esports team CDTB to the end. J. Myler, he's currently still in the car. He's taking that Beamer quite sweetly around the track in Team Year 1. Team Phoenix 2, Petrozella, he's running 11th spot with IRL Black. I wonder what's going on there, if he's managed to fix that damage. Has he been in and fixed it yet? Let's see. No, it hasn't. We now have 12 people watching. Hi guys, give us a wee comment on the live feeds if you've got anybody that you want to get a shout out to. I'll do that for you, no problem. I'm just going through the grid just now as we're coming into the last hour, just to show everyone where everyone is. We now have 13 people watching. Unlucky for some, lucky for FRL. Southern State Racing's in 9th place, so it's got George de Ronde applying that pressure to Law still. Again, you've got 1, maybe 2 car lengths between these 2 cars. Apex has been covered. It's an absolute delight to watch. A very ballsy and quite wacky livery for that marker, so I wonder if they've done that deliberately to kind of put people off when they look in the rear mirror. Try and count all the wee tiny pictures on there, but if you can have a look here guys, it looks like the marker's trying to, so he was trying to show his nose, but it looks like Law has covered that apex really well, and that's some very good, very hard and amazing driving, and so I'm glad I caught that on stream there. These guys have been making things interesting since I've been on comms. They have relentlessly not stopped. They have been on each other's tail for the entirety of the time. There's been a wee door bang like I said, but that's racing guys, that's hard racing. Franca, he's just soaring ahead, he's losing the people, the small gaggle behind him. So he's in 7th place for VRL Jota Sport. BRC Racing Team has Di Stefano in there. It's the only Honda on the track, and they're very nicely slotting into 6th place, coming into the last hour. Nordic E-Racing has now pitted. That's them doing the last driver swap by the looks of things. Fresh tyres, same driver or new driver, we don't know, but they're going to want to get out there and get that car doing the laps, trying to secure that spot, but it looks like they're going to lose that spot. They are indeed. So Stefano has just went up into 5th place. Good move. And then we've got Mr. Giggle in 4th place, like I mentioned earlier on, in Slow Motion Racers. Buzzov securing 3rd place for SBR Europe. Team Phoenix in 2nd. And the one and only Apex Online Racing Pro, just to add a little bit of insult to their cause. But 2 Ferraris and a Mercedes running in the top 3. Now I wonder if this track's actually primarily set up for any particular type of car. Could it be that the Ferrari is the car of choice? I mean, we've got 5 cars out of the entire grid on there. There is actually quite a good spread of manufacturers, with 4 BMWs, 5 Ferraris, Mercedes, you're looking at 6, 1 Porsche, 1 Honda. These guys must like a wee bit of sadomasochism, like to put themselves through their paces, because both cars want to kill you every time you get near a corner. The McLaren is showing some good stead with 4 of them on track. Is that there's only 2. Aston Martins, very good. Audi, they're kind of 3. They've got a good presence. So what a mix of cars. You can't. There's actually on average about the same amount of cars in each type of class, to be fair, apart from the odd one or two. So it's a really good race to watch. All these different styles and classes of cars, and how they can actually do what they're doing and keep the cars nice and fast and on track. I wonder what's going on here. So it looks like George Durand has stayed out on track. And virtual racing. They pitted just for tyres and fuel. That means George Durand might have to do that as well. I wonder if that's going to cause any effect. This is going to be close, people. We'll keep an eye on that. That's Team Phoenix now in the pits, and that's going to give Buzzov the opportunity to make up some ground, but I don't know. I wonder if he's going to pit now as well. He is, he's just pitted, so that's them now coming in to do their final stint. I wonder who's going to be in the car. I think that you're going to find it's going to be very close, people. Top from 2nd to 4th, so that's a stop and go for car 21. So they've decided to come flying in the pits, not hold their brakes enough. I went over that line. I did it myself earlier on, my first pit stop. I'll hold my hand up and say that I've not put enough practice in. In fact, I put 0 practice in, busy with work. So when I tried to pit, I went over the line, but by about 5 or 6 miles per hour, because I seen it late. So hey ho, there we go. But a stop and go 30, that's devastating. That could mean that Clark might be able to close that gap, because a stop and go in these pits, it takes about 120 seconds I think to get in and back out because of the size of the pit lane. It might be just slightly shorter than that. Don't hold my word, don't hold me to that. But it's about 90 seconds from one side to the other, yeah, so it's going to be about 2 minutes, just short of 2 minutes I think. Which may give Clark the opportunity to get up there. I'll watch that one closely. But that's devastating for the French connection. That looks like, again, they've disconnected and they've came back in, and it looks like it's recognised them as a completely new car, which has put them right to the very bottom of the pack. Not good, not good at all. Yes, so SBR have now changed to Cruz. Cruz is in the car, and Team Phoenix has also got Paletti seeing us to the end as well. So there's a bit of ground for Cruz to make up. I think Paletti's going to have a bit of a mishap to lose this. Yeah, so Cruz has just lost another spot there, but yeah, it's amazing how much a kind of a swap or a driver can actually, what it can cause to your position on track. But this is it's going to transcend now into a sort of a nice dusky finish. So we're going to see some lovely kind of pictures here. Oh no, Frank has got a stop and go as well, which means that's going to give Ben Milden the opportunity to make up some ground. If Ben Milden can push this car round the track, he'll be able to close that gap, and Ben is capable of then closing whatever gap's left against Franca to secure a top 10 spot. So we'll watch that as it unfolds as well. There's going to be a few things happening here, but you've got so many stop and goes appearing. We've got a drive through for Phoenix. He's now went out of limits, so a drive through is devastating. Like I say, it's about 90 seconds in and out, so we can time that. Number 21 stop and go has been cleared. Too big a gap. Too big a gap. So car 99. Let's see. Oh, he's missed his box. 25 plus 30. That's about another 40. So we're talking about 110 seconds to get a stop and go completed. That's devastating. So we're going to see some positions lost here. We've got another stop and go to be had. That's been done and dealt with. And that's put Ignition Racing Team down to 21st place. So let's see how devastating this has been. It's going to be close. Franca may lose this place. He's coming onto the home straight now. They're still on the pit lane. He's lost it. So that's devastating for Franca. He'll not do that again in a hurry. He's actually potentially going to lose 2 spots. He is indeed. That's him just coming out now. And that's us got Massa making headway, coming into the same corner. So he's got out. That's going to drop to 16th once the times sort themselves out. But that's now going to bring Massa and Franca into contention of a nice wee battle leading up to the last 50 minutes of the race. So there'll be a kind of pace difference here. The tyres will have cooled down for Franca, being in the pits for that length of time, and Massa's going to have been out on track, so he might be able to close the gap here and then apply some pressure, and then who knows what's going to happen. Well, let's see what's happened with Ben Milden. So Ben Milden's now secured top 10. That's very good indeed. There must have been a driver swap happened there, which is good in respects. He's got a bit of a gap to go though. BRC Racing Team are 15 seconds ahead. Let's just watch how that unfolds, because Ben Milden can drive this Mercedes to within an inch of its life. But Slow Motion Racing have now moved up into second spot. SBR are now in third. With Apex Online Racing Pro still just out there driving Miss Daisy. Oh, they've put the lights on, so that car looks even nicer now. But we've got Chris is only 6 seconds behind Giggly. Or Giggle, sorry, let's go with Giggle. And then you've got Paletti, which is too far behind, so I think we're going to see maybe some kind of ground being closed. We've got 18 people watching now, so it'd be nice for you to say something nice on the stream. Give us a like as well, give us a share. It's all towards the cause. FRL, we're holding an 8-hour Indianapolis for Formula Racing League Endurance Swap main event. This is one of many one-offs that we're going to be holding as well. We've got some really good kind of races coming up. One of the main ones is going to be our 24-hour, which I think we were discussing will be in November. And details of that will unfold soon enough. But right now, we are still in our infancy when it comes to driver swaps. But I'm just going to give a massive mention to the guys that do all the stuff in the background for our driver swap stuff. Mainly, we've got Axel and Lewis, who are the main admins. They do a lot of the setting up, they do a lot of the chasing. But I think the genius behind it all is Will Friedman. Will Friedman is our master kind of Google sheet servient. He's out there. He's completely and utterly up there with some of the kind of the best when it comes to Google sheets. Alongside James, who's the CEO of FRL itself, and the two of them between them, they're just geniuses, and the way that they've got things set up, it's a delight to be involved in. So Will Friedman's to thank for all the setup, for everything, and all the kind of technical stuff in the background. Thank you very much, Will Rayner. We do try our hardest. We all pitch in and we pull our weight as best we can, but it's all for you guys, the drivers. It's nothing without the drivers taking part, so it's part and parcel. We put the graft in, we get things ready for you. We take a lot of sort of grief and abuse as well, but that's part and parcel. We know people are passionate about these types of things, but we take it as it comes. And I'll big FRL up over and above any other setup that's out there. We've got the biggest following on SimGrid, and the reason for that is because of our setup. We're quite strict in some senses, but it's an extremely fun, well set up, fantastic community to be involved in. We've got so many races. We're set up on PC, we're set up on PlayStation, we're set up on F1, we've got iRacing involved as well. Who knows what's on the horizon? But right now we're just growing from strength to strength to strength. I think if we very quickly go and have a wee look and just check what the numbers are like, we are very close to having 3,000 people involved in our community itself. We've got over 3,000. In fact, we're teetering on the kind of 4K mark on SimGrid. We're growing from strength to strength, and it's you guys, the guys coming in and taking part, that's making this happen. And we're going to be here for you to make sure that everything is in its place, it's set up nice, it's ready for you. We've got some right good technical guys in the background, like I said, so we've got Will Friedman and James. There's nothing these guys can't do on a Google spreadsheet that just makes life so much easier. We've got Keddy, he's our unsung hero. He's in the background a hell of a lot, but a lot of your artworks and all your graphics and everything, all that set up, the way the Discord looks, everything is all down to Mr. Keddy himself. He's definitely worth a mention. But everyone, all the admins, everyone that kind of ran and organised everything from the ground up, it's we're here for you, but it's the drivers that make everything, so it's part and parcel. But thank you very much, Will Rayner. That's a very nice thing to say. Let's get back to the racing. So I think I can procrastinate quite a lot. I'm very sorry if I'm boring anyone. We've got enough viewers though to see us out to the kind of final, but first time racing with FRL, big thanks to the organisation for this event. Also handled the disconnect very fast. So the way the disconnect is set up, we have Will Frieden has, like I said, he's an absolute genius when it comes to these things. He's got a spreadsheet set up so that it helps us lock in people's positions on grid. Oh, so George Durand was looking to kind of go round turn 1 there and try and get that position off of IRL Black, but they're still driving about with that damage, and I wonder if they've actually went into the pits and decided not to fix it. But they must be losing time, but George Durand's going to be hard on their heels. So what I was saying was, apologies there for kind of again procrastinating. He's got a sheet set up so that if anything like a disconnect does happen, we can get everyone back on track in the exact position they were finished in. And that's where a lot of drivers, including Will Friedman himself, their team took advantage of the red flag when the track itself and the grid managed to get compressed back up, and they went from the back of the grid to almost the front. They have, however, had another disconnect, and it's put them right to the very back again. But Tom, he's got back in the car. The car's looking lovely and shiny and brand new, because it's as if they've come into the server as a brand new car, and they're just going round doing their laps again. So they're running for the very back, and commendably so. So let's not discuss anything like that on the live chat, if you don't mind me asking, Mr. Lumens, but I do understand it's a kind of passionate thing. So the ACC update, I can do indeed. Let me just get some details on that. So the ACC update, so the way it happened on PC is the update came in and it completely changed the physics of absolutely every single aspect of the game, right down to the tyre rubber on touching on the grey stuff. Now when I say that, right now the optimum tyre pressures on this particular 1.8 whatever it is update is 27.5, and that tends anywhere between 27.2 and 27.8 I think is your kind of buffer zone. With the new update, it's going to come with like new cars. The cars are an absolute delight. We'll talk about them in a wee minute. But the physics behind how the cars handle, right down to the dampeners, the rear wing, the airflow over the car, everything's changed, including the tyres. Optimum temperatures are now up to the driver to set. Now what that means is there's no real middle ground, because each car, is that better, sorry, every single car is going to have their own sort of sweet spot, and it's going to be up to the drivers to get in there and get practicing and kind of trying what they need to. But what we're finding is there's a kind of anywhere between 26 and 27 is going to have different effects on how your tyres last. So if you decide to go for a softer PSI, what will happen is you might have more grip on track, but your tyres are going to wear away and you won't get as fast a top end speed. But if you go for a higher PSI, then you might find the tyre wears less, but the handling of the car is not as good, but you'll get faster top end. So it's very, very difficult to put it into words. That's probably about the best way I can see how the tyres are going to unfold. You've then got the new Porsche 992 car, you've got a new Ferrari, and there's also is that good? Cheers Dan, sorry, my mic's, when it falls down below my chin I completely forget. then it sounds like I'm under 5 mattresses trying to get out for air. But I'm not the most experienced in the game, I definitely am not. I do take on board exactly all the kind of different changes and whatnot that happens. So this new update is pretty much all about taking the game as close to realism as it possibly can. And what that also does is it gives everyone a new love-hatred for the game. You know how much you love to hate this game, but you love it really. But you hate it, but you love it. Well, this new update is going to bring that all, it's going to put everything that you've learned and set up your cars, takes it and throws it in the bin, and everyone goes right back to square one. Because what you've had before, and the way you used to set your cars up before, means absolutely nothing on the new update. I can't wait till it happens, because everyone is going to have a newfound love for the game, because it's going to be even more of a challenge for you to handle the car and push it to its limits. However, it does sound good. Well, it's amazing. I can't believe my heart went into overdrive when I seen that the 1.9 was coming to PlayStation. It's coming quite quickly as well, and I think it happens before the new season starts, because we're taking a 3-week break. So everybody's going to have a chance to get out in the tracks with the new cars and see what kind of cars they want to kind of put into the new series, because I can assure you a lot of people are going to go for the Porsche. It looks fantastic, sounds delightful. Now when I say sounds delightful, this thing sounds like a monster, and it's just so torquey and so open. It's amazing. Anyway, so I look forward to everyone having getting the update and then getting out on track, and what it does to the guys that are normally up there in front, because they're going to have to relearn the game all over again. So Coach Dave Academy, they've also got, and there is no warning when the tires are going to fall off. Exactly. Now this is what a wee word of warning for anyone at all that's looking to get right in about this new update. Your tyres go from being absolutely brilliant to marshmallows on hot glass in the space of half a lap. It's not a word of a lie. Your race can be absolutely amazing until this horrible transition happens, but if you take care of your tyres, then it might not. Again, it just depends on your driving style. Lewis is catching P21. He is indeed, so let's have a wee look and see how this unfolds. So when Lewis gets in a car, he's actually relentlessly fast. He's very talented. He's good at applying pressure. He's really consistent. And he's now on PC. And I swear to God, the guy sandbags big time. He's so fast, so consistent. I think he's just pulled off a wee switcheroo here. Can he pull this move off? He can indeed. That's just absolutely amazing. But what's going to happen here? I think Lewis is actually late enough in the brakes to make that move hold. That's amazing. Well done. So that's him now up into P21. Can a top 20 be on the cards? Can it? No, it can't. Too far away. But that's really good. So I think that's a good recovery drive. But now you're going to see Ignition Sim Racing applying the pressure here. I think Lewis is astronomically faster. You're probably talking a second and a half faster each lap. Yeah, so Graffy is looking to push as hard as he can. He's making mistakes, but if we sit and watch Lewis on this lap, you'll see he's pinpoint accurate with his apexes, his braking points, and he'll just continue to pull away from the Mercedes here. Aye, so that exit, he's got that Ferrari set up nice and sweet. So that's going to look like he's standing still. Yeah, he's gone. Well done, Lewis. That was a very good move indeed. If anyone else has got a shout out that they want to get somebody on the track, on sorry, in the limelight, then give us a wee shout, let us know. I'm still going to go back to Giggle up here. He's very, very closely being followed by Chris. He's managed to close that gap quite nicely. That's... yeah, I think George Durand has managed to secure himself over the last couple of hours 6th spot. So after that driver swap that they did, that's done really well actually. He just needs to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, gets his apexes right. Apex Online, I don't see them making, that's them now 3 laps ahead, so they're just constantly on their way to a very, very well deserved win. Ben Milden is still in 10th place and he's slowly pulling away from Race Club UK. He made that move a while back and he's just slowly but surely trickling away and leaving him for dust. Nope, so we don't have any other battles out here on track just now, apart from the Giggle and Chris saga, which is, I mean, the gap's only 2.3 seconds, but that's a magnitude for guys that can put the kind of constant laps in and the pace in. There is a back marker here in between and the in the form of Graphy. So let's see how this unfolds. He should get out the road for Chris. It's coming now onto this hard right, a kind of slow section here that pushes us onto the home straight. So let's see if he can get a nice fast exit, and then if we can get Graphy to move out the road. We might get a wee flash here just to let him know that's it. Can read him like a book, but that's it. It's as if he's defending there, he's not. He's moved out the road. That's fantastic. That is very gentlemanly like. So this now gives Chris the opportunity to try and close that gap on Giggle. He has done so. He's closed 3/10 as well. So this is the closest battle we've got on track just now. And we've got another back marker into the fray, but it shouldn't really cause any effect. Taking through another slow section of the track. When it gets onto the straight, you might find the BMW will move out the road. He's not, he's going to stay there, which is not ideal. But I think Chris will kind of make a move quite soon. He needs to try and close this gap. He's doing a really, really good job. He's got half a second on him, which means Giggle. I wonder if Giggle's oh. That looks like Clark was coming out the pitch there. But that gap's getting even smaller again. I wonder what the thinking is here with this BMW sitting in between them. As it's just gonna, he's now caused Chris to drop back another 4/10. He needs to get out the road and let these two front runners kind of battle it out. They've got half an hour to play with. Yeah. So it's Myler. I wonder what he's up to. Wonder why he's not yielding that place. He's just holding Chris up, to be fair. I mean, Chris can maybe use the slingshot off the back of the car, however. This track's going to be cooling down. In fact it is, it's went down to 28 degrees. The sun's now kinda gone. It's just ever so slightly holding fast. So we've got half an hour of temperatures cooling. We're now up to 17 people watching again. Hi, thanks for coming in. We're just at the last half an hour of our 8-hour Indy endurance swap main event through FRL Racing League. So thanks for coming in and watching. We're now up to 18 people. Excellent, thanks. Guys, if you've got anything you want to say on the chat, then let me know. If you want to get a shout out to anybody at all. We've actually got Chris flashing Myler there to get him out the road. He's now going to try and make a move here, and I wonder what's going to happen. If Myler's going to pull out, he is. He's going to let that move happen. Very well done. It's only taken 2 laps for that to happen, right enough. I don't know what's going on there. But that's us now. Chris can now get his foot down and see what he can do here. I don't think they're going to have any more mishaps. We've got a couple of back runners just ahead. So Robinson, he'll consistently just stay ahead. He's doing really well, and it looks like Tom just moved out the road there for Lewis. That was very nice of him. So there's a lot of gentlemanly like drivers out on track this evening. We know how passionate people get. They don't really want to yield a place at all, even if it's not for position. They're just very proud. But then at the same token, they need to start getting into the mindset that if it's not your race or your fight, then just step aside and let these people that are fighting get on with it. Because it's not very good if they're being held up. But it's racing. People's mindsets are different across the board. Not everyone reads off the same hymn sheet when it comes to racing, so that's where you get the mishaps. That's where you get miscommunication. That's where you get things happening. And we have a ticketing system in place for that. A very, very sophisticated ticket system set in place, and a very dedicated team of stewards as well who take care of the tickets. And I think there's been a few off the back of today's race. But we'll see how they unfold, and we might find some things will happen at the end of the race as well. We never know. But what I will ask is if someone could get a hold of the winning team, either through Discord or whatnot, and see if you can actually invite them into this channel that I'm currently in just now, so that they can come in at the end of the race and we can do a little post-race interview. Only going to be 5 minutes, just to have a wee chat, just to see how the race went for them. We'd like to hear from them. It would be good if we can get someone to try and secure that. That would be ideal. I know I would imagine Mark and Lewis and Will have been doing some kind of thing to set up the final interview anyway. So we'll see how it goes, we'll see how it pans out. But that gap's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I think Chris is definitely going to do some sort of kind of ballsy move in the next 27 minutes to try and secure that second place. We'll go back to Lewis and see how he's getting on. No damage in the car, so Mr. Consistent just keeps on putting that car round the track, and he just keeps on getting that excellent exit as well. The car's not bogging down in the slightest, it's just taking off. Rocket on wheels, as I say. Clark just coming up to the turn 1, gets that car in, bounces over the curb, slightly bogs down. That's the thing about the BMW, it's quite a heavy car, quite cumbersome. But it's very well balanced, so you can see why people choose this type of car. Klassen He's just he's just hit that wall hard, and that's going to probably mark the end of any battle whatsoever. That car is absolutely and utterly obliterated. That was perfect timing there. That was commentator's curse. Touched on his car, and we just seen him take probably about, I would say, 2 years off his life. We hit the wall as hard as he did there. That's left a flappy bonnet and a car trickling round, probably with his steering wheel stuck at 90 degrees just to stay straight. So we're going to see him pitting, I would imagine, to get that damage fixed. He's very far back on track, so this could give the opportunity for Clark to get into 24th place and give our lovely Jackie's racing team the opportunity to get off of the bottom, which is, it's good to see. We just don't want Clark having the same thing or the same issue, so if he just keeps on going, that would be ideal. But let's just see what's going on. 25 long more minutes. No. We love this. We done 24 hours of this on the PC a while back. How important is your rig equipment? I would say it's very important. So some guys could sit at the end of their beds, oh he's hitting that wall, could sit at the end of their beds on their control pad, like some guys actually do, and I'm going to name them in a minute, name and shame them. He's not going into to change that, to fix that damage. There's no chance he's staying out on track. That car's absolutely obliterated. He's just going to cause serious effect to someone on track. But anyway, so a G29 is the steering wheel that I used to have, and I can assure you it's a very, very good, sturdy and well made rig. It's seen a lot of guys, some of the fastest guys I've actually seen on track, put in some fantastic times. However, the moment you come away from a G29 and go on to direct drive, it's like chalk and cheese. And when your steering wheel, it gives you that instant feedback, you tend to find that the control of your car's better. You then introduce like a load cell braking system into the fray, and there's another disconnect, and I think that's again fresh connection are gone. That's a shame. The rig itself is very important. I myself personally use a playseat, and I've got a Moza steering wheel, so I upgraded from a G29 to a Moza, and I think my consistency got better. I don't have a load cell pedal, but I've got a spring kit which makes the pedal that little bit more, it's like kind of tighter, and it gives you a better feel, so you can kind of regulate your brakes more. My next upgrade is going to be a load cell, of course, but the ultimate setup is direct drive with about anywhere between 5 and 8 Newton meters on some kind of sturdy rig that's going to be able to absorb that vibration and feedback that you get from your wheel itself. And then your load cells. So if you're going to get load cells, you will. I can guarantee you, James. They're back in again. I can guarantee you, James, who has just upgraded to load cells, he himself has knocked 2 seconds on average off of his personal bests on any track that he's now taking part in. He's running at the front. He's getting podiums. It's ridiculous. It's not something that just magically happens though. I think you've got to have some kind of natural ability at this game for the likes of the load cells to then have as big an impact and as good an impact as you need it to be. But yes, 100%, your rig is important. Sitting at the end of your bed or at a computer desk with a G29, as opposed to having a direct drive, like a Fanatec direct drive or a Moza, which I've got, which is amazing and really good value for money. I think I paid £560 for it, and I got a 5 Newton meters with a nice pedal set, and then a £39 spring set, and I got a nice wee MFD kind of screen add-on as well for £130 or whatever it was, and then I got a new fascia as well for my steering wheel for an extra £30. So if you've got the money, I would certainly invest in direct drive, and rigs, I know they can be expensive, but some of the simpler rigs, they're definitely they're worth it. Definitely worth it. Gets you away from your. Oh, he's going into the pits now. Definitely worth getting you away from sitting on a desk in a computer chair. It's just it feels better, and the stability that it gives you, it warrants that expenditure. No end. I would advise everything that I've just discussed. I would advise everyone does that because it just makes your sim racing experience so much better. Now we've got 20 minutes left in the race, guys. We'll do a wee recap again of who's where. So online Apex is in the lead with Giggle. He's actually pulled a small gap over Chris, who's in third. So Slow Motion in second, SBR Europe in third, Team Phoenix 1 in fourth, IRL Black in fifth, and I think he's still not fixed that flappy bonnet. That's doing me at my nutting. Nordic E Racing in 6th, Team Gear 1 in 7th, Southern State Racing in 8th, BRC Racing Team in 9th, and Godden Race Club UK, or Godden Driving, the marker for Race Club UK, rounding off the top 10. I wonder what happened there, because Ben Milden was in 10th. He's maybe just lost that place to someone faster than him, which is pretty rare. So I'm going to hazard a guess that he's maybe lost control. So SBR Endurance in 11th place, Team Phoenix 2 in 12th, Virtual Racing League in 13th, ISS Racing Team in 14th, and I'm very pleased to announce that I'm going to be telling you that my team have now gained a place. We'll get to that in a little minute. VRL Jota in 15th, CDTB Esports in 16th, Wall Racing in 17th, SBR GBR 18th, Overmaniacs in 19th, and the top 20 rounded off by Baltic Sea Racing. Lewis is running nice and solid in 21st place for FRL Racing Team, with Dan Nesbitt in 22nd place for Turn 1 Sim Racing. You can get a fag paper between those two teams. They're actually opposite ends of the track. You've got Ignition Sim Racing in 23rd, with my own team managing to get themselves into 24th place, and that's off the back of African Thunder absolutely mulling their car off the wall, and it was because he clipped the wall coming onto the home straight and sent him flying. And then unfortunately the French Connection are running at the back because of some kind of disconnection technical difficulties. They were running in third place, closing in on second, and devastatingly so, disconnected and punted to the rear. So that's a round off of the grid. It's only took me 2.5 minutes or so to do so that's good. That gives us 17 minutes left to have a look at what sort of battles are out there. Giggle is definitely pulling away from Chris. I wonder if his tyres are having a bit of an impact now, considering the temperatures have dropped again by 1 degree, and it's maybe just not holding well for that Mercedes, which does want to kill you, because it does have a little bit of a very snappy oversteer, and if your tyres are a little bit goosed or they're cooled down or off PSI, it can be very detrimental to your ability to push in the laps. Team Phoenix, he's only 10 seconds behind, but I think it's maybe, he's just run off track as well. He's not going to gain any ground by doing that, but anything can happen. The last 16 minutes, where the temperatures are cooling and people's tyres are starting to get overworn because they're flooring it and pushing it as hard as they possibly can, anything can happen. So let's just see how that unfolds. But it's not looking good because he's actually losing time, and I think going off track like that's not going to help you anything at all. Now, commendably so, IRL Black, who hasn't fixed that bloody flappy bonnet, is actually doing really well, holding 5th spot. They timed that really well when it came to their driver swap, and they never repaired the car when it was in the pits, so I'm my hat off to them. I still give drive of the day to Will Friedman's team, the French Connection, because they did go from last right up to 3rd place and they were pushing for 2nd. Unfortunately, what's happened is they're at the back of the pack again, but for a good portion of the race They did pretty much obliterate the entire field. But I think Apex, they've pretty much been at the front for the entirety. I think they just took off, and they're that fast, the paint's struggling to catch up. These guys are that fast that when they go to bed at night, they turn the light off and they're under the covers before it gets dark. So how can you even race against guys like that? They're a different breed. It's good to see them getting involved in the best league in the entire planet. FRL Racing League, so Formula Racing League. Anyone that's watching that's not part of the league, there's something wrong with you. Get your finger out, click that button, get on the community. I've got a couple of comments on the chat now, so yeah. So yeah, Will Rayner, that's a really good recommendation. I think Fanatec as well just now are doing some kind of reduced price bundle. However, you'll have to pay import tax on it because you can't get it in this country unless you go onto eBay, of course, and then you're getting someone in this country selling you second hand. But they've got like good resaleability factor, and as long as they're maintained and put in a very good kept really well, it's a good purchase. But if you're going to buy anything from Fanatec, they're now on the reduced prices because there is a lot of competition out there. Jammy JJ, listen to Chris, you won't regret it. Thank you very much, Jammy JJ. That's aye, DD is the way forward. But if you're going to buy it, be expected to pay 20% import tax on top. It's not much, but it'll put you in a far better position, especially when you're on track and you want to be competitive. The G29 is a competitive rig, don't get me wrong. JR, the lad that comes in and always has a wee chat with me every time I stream, he is probably one of the fastest guys I've ever seen on a G29. No politics in the chat, please. Yeah, Brexit, exactly. But hey ho, they want to get their money somehow, so it's a really good way to get it. Sting, something that's been growing in popularity since COVID. Sim racing has astronomically grown. I think we're getting a little bit of a wobble here because Apex Racing, he's given us another. Is he going to give us another wobble? I don't know. Maybe he's been fed back that he's currently on stream. So you're in a dilemma. Well, go on if you're really looking for cost effectiveness. Go on to GT Omega and look for Moza stuff and cross-reference the price against anything Fanatec. You'll find Moza stuff is attainable here in the UK, so you don't pay import tax. However, you might just pay that wee bit extra. So it's however you want to do it. If you're happy to give the tax man his money, get Fanatec. If you don't, go Moza. Moza are produced here in the UK and sent to you within 2 days, 3 days. I ordered my wheel, was told it'd be a week. Within 3 days I got a knock on the door, and I could not be happier. That's the bundle I got, and it came with a very simple brake system, and there's a brake spring kit you can get for £29 or £39, and it just tightens up your brake pedal so that it feels that little bit better, and you can easily regulate your brakes. And then when you connect it to the PC, the Moza hub is very good at also setting up everything, including the calibration of your brakes. And if you're going to buy it for the use on PlayStation, you also need to buy a converter. So you're asking for a friend. P25 is half a lap behind, which means if Clark can just see the next 11 minutes out, I think we're going to secure 24th spot, which is, to be fair, is quite good considering. Klassen's made a massive crash and he had to fix that car because it was just impossible for him to drive. But we've taken full advantage, so get in there. But yes, Moza, really good consideration. Fanatec, it's got fantastic compatibility across the board. You don't need to get any sort of cheers Mac, cheers Jacko. You don't need to buy any converter, but with the Moza, if you want it to work on the PlayStation, you need to buy a Brook converter, which needs to be plugged into a PC and calibrated, and then that's how you communicate to your PlayStation. Oh, so we have. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh no, the Honda's just lost it there. Just at the start of Sector 3. He's back on track. I don't think he's lost. He has, he's lost a place or two, I think, because of that spin. Oh man, that's not good. He's went from securing quite a nice kind of top 10 spot to outside the top 10 now, giving Ben Milden 9th and Van Leeshout 10th place. So Southern State Racing, they've had to driver swap, which is probably, oh, he's hit that grass, which can cause your car to get disconfobulated. But he's now seen us out to the end in that beautiful McLaren. Oh, and we've got the cars in front here. Aye, they are indeed. Fanatec is very good indeed. Will, very good. No, they don't break easy. You need to be a bit violent with them for them to break easy. But we've got Race Club UK Godden in 8th place just now. And he's got Ben Milden all over the back of him. And we've got 8 minutes to go, and I think Milden is going to apply so much pressure that Race Club UK, this is my prediction, Ben Milden will apply the pressure, he'll show his nose, and he'll miss a braking point, and that'll put Ben Milden up into 8th. Let's just see how that unfolds. Well, the DD choices are Fanatec or Moza, but Moza cut, you need to buy a £105 converter. So Ben Milden's having to defend Southern State Racing here, and he does so very well indeed. So Ben Milden is defending, and at the same time he's applying pressure to Godden, who's in front, who's now just ever so slightly slunk away. Definitely, the upgrade is 1,000,000% the way to go. G29 is great, and I take my hat off to how good a wheel it is for its money, but you can get far better. And it's time to join the big boys table and put your big boy pants on and get a direct drive. Take the plunge, pull your finances together, rob, pillage and steal whatever it takes. No, so it's 100, well, yes, definitely, but the G29 is, oh, you're welcome. Jamie was a little bit stuck, he was using control pad. Oh, there Ben Milden's giving a little flash to the car in front because I think he's maybe made some kind of rash move. But do you know what? These things happen. Again, it's starting to get to the nitty gritty in the tail end of this racing session. It's been an enthralling 8 hours. I've been working for most of it today, but came in the door, found out there was a disconnect. It gave me an opportunity to compose myself, have a wee cigarette and a beer, and then get myself on track. Ben Milden's now showing his nose, and I think that Maka was, he made 2, maybe 3 moves there, which isn't the best way to defend. That kind of starts being constituted as blocking. But we'll see how this unfolds. These 3 cars are the most action that we've got left here in the last 5 minutes 40 seconds. So if we go to we'll stick with the Maka. He's applying pressure to Ben. Ben's applying pressure to Gordon. Van Lieshout is just waiting for some kind of mishap to happen. When it does, if it does, he's just going to pounce. Ben Milden's taken that apex absolutely perfect there. He broke at the right time. He covered his apex. He's got that Merc bouncing all over the place. But there's nothing Ben Milden can't do in a car. As long as it doesn't disconnect him. As long as it's a very nice battle. It's a very, very good way to end an 8-hour race. It all comes down to this. We've got 4 laps left, 5 at a push. And you'll probably find these guys thrive on this. They've been sitting waiting for this to happen. I think the Maka has definitely got some kind of... He's got a faster exit, but the Mercedes, its tyres go away for you, but it then comes back to you again. And because Ben's having to defend the Maka, it's given Gordon a chance to just slink away. But Ben will defend that again, and I don't think the Maka's going to be able to get that move pulled off. It is. He's went so wide. Ben Milden was holding that line very well. That was a ballsy move there by Lieshout. He's definitely just testing the water with Ben. I think he's trying to see if Ben's going to crumble under pressure. But I'm afraid you've met your match, son, because Ben Milden, amongst every single driver that's on this track, can actually hold it up there with the best. He's a front runner. He doesn't take to pressure very lightly. He'll actually close the door on you. You'll have to be very slick and very quick on your brakes. We've got a wee flash off of Gordon with the car ahead there, so I think this car ahead's going to maybe hold things up if he doesn't move out the road. Let's see if Lieshout can actually take advantage, but that's a very gentlemanly move. He's actually moved out the road to allow all 3 cars through, which gives the next 3 minutes. And the ground ahead, perfect opportunity for us to see some really, really good battles ending it out. We do have Clark in the 72 car ahead as well, but I don't think he's going to hinder anything at all. If we make a little camera switch to Ben, it gives us an opportunity to then see what kind of gaps opened up here. Gordon's pulling away. Yeah. So Ben Milden is being pressurised by Lieshout. Again, that exact same move. Ben defends. He goes 3/4 track over. Defends. Takes a nice line. And the Maka again trying to test the water with Ben. Ben's just not going to fold under that pressure. It's most likely going to be contact. If this Maka isn't careful, it's going to be contact that's going to take them out. Ben will follow the exact same line, lap after lap after lap after lap. And then if you think you've got him, he will close the door on you. He's very good at what he does. He's very fast and slick, and he's actually holding this Maka off really well. I think the Maka's got the edge on him. Genuinely, on the straight, it's the only time he's got it, but he's got this Mercedes balanced so well, and he'll get his braking points right, he'll get the car turned in right, and the lights in his rear mirror will not faze him in the slightest, and I can assure you, he's going to have to, this Maka's going to have to perform a miracle to try and get Ben here. But this is us coming into the latter part of the race. What I will do is I'll switch back to Ben and all that once the leader's over the line. They're just ahead, so that actually gives us a very, very good last full lap. Thanks very much, Gordo. The T1 boys, we'll give them a quick wee mention. They're down here in 22nd place, pushing that beautiful little Aston Martin round the track. just nice and leisurely. But we'll go back to Vermeulen. He's driving for Apex Online Racing. He is in the lead going into the last lap. We have Ben Milden as well, who has now lost that position. Because we went away, we never got to see that position going. Ben Milden's now going to apply some serious pressure to see if he can get that place back. But what you're going to find is, first place will come over the line, and then we'll have a full lap for these guys to then try and get that second that spot. So yes, first place. Well and true there, he's getting a flash as well, so Apex is getting a nice flash from the cars round about him, and commendably so. It's probably well over 300 laps that these guys have been in the lead. No, it didn't work out for us at all, Jacko. It didn't work out at all in the slightest. But he's just coming round into sector 3 now. We'll see how things are panning out here. It looks like Ben Milden's kind of fell by the wayside now. He's going to secure a top 10 spot, but Leishout, he's now applying the pressure on Godden, which might find that he's going to get 7th place at the end of this. But we'll go back to Apex Racing. We're now just coming round the final corner, and I think we need to stand up and give these guys an absolute round of applause. That is one stellar drive to come over the line and finish this race in the lead. Basically 3 laps ahead of Giggly, who is now in the same boat. He's now going to come over the line very soon to secure second spot, 3 laps behind Apex. So over the course of 183 laps, the pace has dropped off enough for Apex to be out there in the front running. But let's just have another round of applause for Slow Motion Racers. Slow Motion, my rear end, well done for second spot. And then third place is going to come to car number 488 for Team Phoenix 1. That's an absolutely fantastic drive for these guys to get over the line in third spot and complete the podium. If we now very quickly go back to Godden, who's now under serious pressure from Leishout and Ben. These 3 cars have gave us some fantastic entertainment in the closing stages of this race. But yes, P1 went to Apex. Well done, guys, and I'll hopefully see if we can get you guys into the interview booth at the end of the race. But Gordon looks like he's done enough. He's going to slam on the brakes here, hold a tight corner. Ben Milden then comes into the fray. We've got Leishout, Gordon and Ben Milden. Oh, was that nearly contact? Ben Milden might be able to take advantage of this here and actually have a better exit to the corner, and we're probably going to have a little bit of a drag race right to the end. All 3 cars within a tenth of each other, and that's an absolute fantastic finish to the race. The last people to come over the line is Chris. Oh, hang on. So let's go and have a wee look at the timetables here, and if we go for a bit of a replay, we'll get some action in the background and have a look at the times on there. That was an absolutely fantastic finish, wasn't it? So we're getting to see this little battle here at the end again, but leave that playing and then we'll look at the results. So Apex Racing top spot with Slow Motion Racers coming in at second, and Team Phoenix 1 in third place. IRL Black in fourth, with Nordic E Racing in fifth. Team Year 1 in sixth. Race Club UK 7th. Southern State Racing in 8th. SBR Endurance in 9th, rounding off the top 10. Thank you very much, Rebel. It's been a really good race. Team Phoenix 2. So Phoenix have got 2 teams in the top 10. BRC Racing in 11th. We've got Virtual Racing in 12th. ISS Racing Team in 13th. VRL Jota Sport in 14th, with CDTB Esports in 15th. SBR in 16th. Wall Racing in 17th. Overmaniacs in 18th. Baltic Sea Racing in 19th. SBR Europe in 20th. FRL Racing Team, well done Lewis for bringing them 21st. Dan Naisbitt in 22nd, taking T1 Sim Racing over the line. Ignition Sim Racing the 23rd, my very own team alongside Jackie, Nikon and Clark in 24th. That was a good wee run at the end there. Klassen finished in 25th for African Thunder, and bringing us in the rear because of a technical mishap, the French Connection. So they're in here twice. They're trying their hardest to get as many points as they can. That's not good. But I just want to thank everyone that's taken part here today. It's been 8 hours, a lot of prep as well yesterday for the massive qualifying session. There was like a kind of deduction. We've got a couple of cars going out on track now. We had a like a a knockout qualifying session, which seen some really good tight times, bringing in the cars at the end of that session to put them on track here for today. So the qualifying session happened yesterday, and today seen the 8 hours taking place with Apex Racing pretty much dominating the field and getting the number one, the top spot finish. But that's been your Formula Racing League Endurance Swap main event today. We do have more coming up, like I says. We've got a 24 hours kind of scheduled. We've got a few others as well. More information on that as it unfolds will come onto the Discord. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing everyone over the finish line for the last 2 laps here. The last 2 hours, sorry. I've not got anyone in at all for the interview. It doesn't look like it anyway. Let's just have a look and see if I've got anyone maybe instructing me on what's going to happen. It's not at all. I mean, it would have been nice to get someone in for the interview, but I generally can't see what's happening. No. I mean, the best thing that we can say is everyone has put in massive amount of energy and time to set this up. The admins in the background, so you've got Mark, you've got Lewis, you've got Will, you've then got everyone that's took part, you've got the qualifying setup, the structure, the artwork, the sim grid setup. Jazzman would be willing to give an interview. Okay, if he can, Jazzman, I'll do an interview. Hi Jazzman, excellent. So, would you like to DM me your PlayStation name for me, please? And then I'll get you into the booth and we can have a wee chat. You'll find me as Yavolton or Chris Gedman, Chris Gedman. Come on. Oh, is this it here? Fire Victor. Accept DM. Come on. I'll give it another wee minute or so to see if I can get some kind of message from you, and then I can add you. But a good opportunity for us to have a wee look at the timetable again. So the free practice went quite well, and you've seen some no bad times going in there. The race itself, as we've seen, was won by Apex Online Racing. So you had 3 drivers involved with that team. So he's put in some absolute fantastic stellar performances pulled together. Green light. Go. Let's just go back to that race there. And then we had a team of 4 in second place and a team of 3 in third place. So worth a mention, Vermeulen, Hujergens and Kampic, all for the Apex Online Racing team. And then you had Giggle, Mihulka, Nor and Huber for the slow motion racing, and Poletti, Bizzogo and Mazzoni for Team Phoenix 1. So a massive, massive, massive thank you to everyone that's put the time and effort into be racing with us tonight, and very, very well done to the top 3, including Apex Online Racing Pro. So I've not had anything from anyone at all to get here in the interview. So I think it's time for me to say adieu. Thanks again for watching. I know I've still got 9 people watching, so thank you very much, every single one of you. Let's have a wee look and see what's going on here. Oh, so hang on, Jazzman7, sorry, okay. So, Jazzman treble 7 09876 09876. Select all, cut. Let's see if I can get you on here. Da 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 da. Thank you very much, William. It's been a pleasure. I know some of the other commentators probably done a far better job than I did. I just like to come on and waffle and talk piffle. We've just got one car sitting here, right, looking at in view, and it's my team car, so we'll just keep that here on view. But I'm trying to see if I can. There's a wee notification here. Somebody sent a video clip. How do I add a friend again? I've got to go to there. I've got to go to there. I've got to go to there. Paste that. And it looks like I've found you. Excellent. So add. Send friend request. Jard Vermeulen. So yes. Excellent, Jazz. Thank you very much. I'll now add you to this chat. I think that's how we do it. FRL commentary booth. Add. Where's Jazz? There you're there. Boom. Add. Now feel free to come in at any time. That's you now added to the booth. So you can come in and have a little chat. So it looks like we have our race winner here on in the chat with us. So I'll like to introduce to everyone Jazz, who was part of the Apex Racing team. So if we just go back to this here, no, I can't see. Fine. Say hello, Jazz.
Hello, hello, you can hear me?
I can hear you very well, and I wonder if everyone else can hear you as well. I'm just going to very quickly double check that you're not muted.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens with these things.
Yeah, of course, no worries.
So let's see, get you. Yep, no, that's excellent. So we can hear you very well. So, wow, 8 hours endurance, and you came up trumps. So talk us through it. Tell us what happened. Give us a little feel for how your race panned out. First of all.
Okay, yeah, so we decided to obviously save a pit stop, so run heavy and save a pit stop, which was going well before the DC, but we managed to again do it in the next race.
Right.
In the next race after the red flag. So that was really nice for that to, come to fruition, and obviously, we did some stuff to make our car quite good on the tires. So overall, we're happy with how the setup went, how the car handled everything. So everything went out as we planned. The first part of the race, I'll speak about that. That was a bit exciting, with one of the Ferraris, guy in P2. Yeah, so that was exciting stuff. But these things happen, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's an 8-hour race, so it's okay.
But
we came out scared. Yeah.
You always get people trying to win the race like from the get-go, and this is where you get mishaps happening. And I think in an 8-hour race, people just need to take a wee step back and just let the race evolve.
Yeah, I think maybe just over eager, a bit pumped up for the race. I just think I don't know. It was a bit aggressive. But luckily, like I said, it was, I saw it coming, so I bailed out the corner. So
Wonderful.
it was, just a couple of another seconds of damage. But overall, we got to P3, and then it was just about working their way into the stint, getting past, and
Well, you were showing consistency, and I think you held the fastest lap. Your team held the fastest lap for the entirety of the race. So I don't
yeah,
think
yes.
anyone else at the same pace as you guys. And I think everyone, when they see Apex getting involved in a race, they know straight away, right, these guys are here, they mean business. And I think every single time you get involved in something, you end up touching it to gold. It changes from
We
whatever it is to gold. It's one of these things that everyone that gets involved with any of these sim races, once they see your name up on there, they know they've got a challenge on their hands.
Yeah, I mean, our team is. I mean, I'm very lucky to have two good friends who happen to also be part of Apex Online Racing, who are very quick, and we do a lot of endurance racing, so we're quite a well-oiled team.
hmm
So that helps as well, experience
Well,
and
we've
overall.
just we've just had
Uh,
a comment from Will there saying he doesn't want to see this Apex online racing team here ever again. You're getting 100 kilogram ballast. I think they'll still win, Will. I genuinely think they'll still win.
Uh, yeah, no, we had like I said, we really focused on the race with the setup and looking after our tires as best as we can, as that was this first 6 hours was all about tire management. Um, a lot of guys had good pace at the start. From what I saw, it was some guys initially had really strong pace, but I think their tires just dropped off considerably more than ours, which just
That's
just
the key to Assetto Corsa Competizione, taking care of your tyres. Now, you guys seem to
yeah.
have nailed a setup and taking care of your tyres, producing the goods by producing the fastest laps on the track, and consistently doing it for 300 plus laps. I mean, I think take my hat off to you. There's a hell of a lot to be had, especially when you've got the ability to do that. So hat off to you, and that's a
Yeah.
very well deserved win today. Very well deserved
Yeah.
win.
No, thank you. We are extremely happy to have won the race. And to get with the red flag, it evens everything up. So you never know what's going to happen.
I did,
So
so it evened the track out really well, and I think Will Friedman, I don't know if you knew how actual stellar of a drive they had. They went from the very back of the grid right up to third place
really,
um,
after the red flag,
after the
because
red flag.
I saw the team going up, but I just I couldn't keep quite
So I'm
exactly track
afraid
where they
they
were.
were gaining, but I don't think they were going to catch because the grid was full of a lot of people that were egotistically holding their place on track, even when they knew they couldn't. Because when you've got Will Friedman and Tom involved in these types of things, they're very much
Yeah,
like yourselves.
yeah.
They're very alien-like. But they went from the back of the pack to third, and then they got a terrible disconnect.
Yes, yes, I saw that. It was the French Connection, wasn't it? Was that the team French
Yes.
Connection?
So
Yes, yes, because I saw them earlier. Then they got a disconnect, and then I think it was like an hour and 30 minutes left in the race or something. And
I know
yeah,
six and a half
that
hours of hard work, one
yeah,
disconnect, back of the pack.
yeah. That's. I mean, yeah, and that's the sad thing about online racing. Sometimes these things can happen, and
And do you know what it is, right?
yeah,
It's the kind of digital version of a technical failure in your car.
yeah, like your brakes fail or something.
That's
Yeah,
it.
not engine
So
fail.
you just
Yeah,
you've just got
yeah.
to take these things. It
Yeah, and
happens rarely.
it can strike at any time. I mean, the other endurance stuff we do, it's happened to us.
hmm
It can, it's just luck of the draw. It's going to happen. Someone's going to get DC'd in these
Yes.
longer races. It's just whether it's you when the
Slightly
round
too
table
late.
comes, it will come back to you eventually. You know,
So,
so
do you have any parting kind of advice to any kind of budding drivers who are looking to kind of up their pace before we say a kind of a goodbye to everybody?
I mean, I think everyone. I mean, everyone who took part today, everyone's got good speed. I just think it all comes. I mean, I think anybody can be fast on this game. It just takes practice. You know, some people have
Apart
more
from
time
me.
than others. Yeah, but I mean, when I started, you know, sim racing, you know, I wasn't, you know, particularly quick, but you know, I practiced hard, and I think anybody can. If I can, if anyone is really quick, if whoever it may be, you know, Mr. Whitesmith, you know, Oldenstone, my teammates, all these other people
I
who are
tell you
quick, you
what,
know, they get
Mr.
there by
Whitesmith
practice.
has
Yeah.
definitely. I've seen how he's progressed. I keep an eye on quite a lot of people, but he used to be
Yes.
very
He's,
slow, involved in quite a lot of mishaps, and then all of a sudden he's the guy to beat.
yeah, he's got
It's
good. He's got good speed, and I think it just comes with practice. I think some people have more time, and I think it's just, you know, you got to practice. And obviously there's the select few who just are just quick. You know, they just get in and they just quick.
that's it.
But I think for the majority is, you know, uh, practice, and these events are fantastic. I mean, you get together with friends, sim racing friends, buddies. You spend an evening together.
That's what it's
Um,
about. Having fun,
that's
spending time with
that
your
is
pals, and I
yeah,
would
yeah,
like to be
yeah,
a
yeah.
fly in the wall on these streams to just see how much banter these have got between each other. Because if you
Yeah.
were involved in any of the chats that I'm in, it can be quite sinister. Being Scottish, we've got quite a dark sense of humour.
Yeah.
So an 8 hour
Yeah.
endurance race is a perfect
Yeah.
opportunity for us
Yeah.
to do these types of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, if FRL continues with these longer races, you know, many people will join,
Yep.
many people will have fun, and yes, you might get a DC and stuff, and maybe event, you know, in time people might not be as aggressive, you know, when they get used to the format,
Well, we've
and
got some
the
really, really
racing will
good
get better.
technical guys in the background, and they did really well to get everybody back on track
Yeah.
as swiftly as
It's
possible in their
yeah,
rightful position.
it's not easy to host these endurance events.
No.
It's admin intensive, you know, especially if something like a red flag happens. You know, they did well.
Yep.
Everything was done. I mean, it was a fantastic event. It was smooth run. The red flag was handled perfectly. I mean, we had a good time. We had a great time, and I just hope everyone else had some fun. And I mean, yeah,
Just
it was
chasing your ass round the track.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, there were some good battles when we came across, man. Seventh, eighth, ninth. You know, a lot of people battling, and
Yep.
you know, it was a nice event, and I hope and you know if there's another one like this, I'm sure we'll be back. I
Well,
mean, it
this
was
is
nicely
we're in
done.
our infancy. We are definitely 100% going to be hosting more. We've got a really, really big 24-hour endurance event happening near the end of the year, but more
Yeah,
details will unfold. So keep your eye on our
yeah,
Discord. Discord. But
yeah,
what I'll
yeah.
say is, thank you very much for taking part today. Very
Yes,
well done for getting the win you
yes.
did over 8 hours. You had a
Thank you,
three
thank you.
lap gap.
Yes,
A three
yes,
lap
yes,
gap.
yes.
So
Yeah, well, it wasn't all just me; it was my teammates as well. We did well. We did
yes.
very well today. Yes, we
So
did. And thank you guys for streaming and everything. I
yeah.
mean that was fantastic. And yeah,
I could
and
try. I just when it's me that's involved in the comms, I just talk a lot of piffle and I don't
that's
even look
commentary,
at the
man.
race. Sometimes
That's
I
commentary. I
try
mean, you're coming
trying
in
to
at the back
entertain.
end of a 5-hour race. There, the gaps are going to be big. You know, there'll be some battling. You know, you're going to have to talk a bit of waffle to fill in the time, man. You know how it
Well, do you
goes.
know what? It's great. I can talk the brass balls off a donkey. So I think that's why they get me involved in these things. But I'm
Yeah,
always first to put myself forward for these things. I'm involved
yeah,
quite heavily with a lot of the admin side, and
yeah,
I seen it as a
yeah,
great opportunity to let everyone else that's fast to race on track, and just give me the opportunity to get them in the limelight and put them in the
yeah.
forefront of the stream. So I
Yeah,
did
no, I
that
mean,
very thing.
streams on console are a rare thing. So
Well, we we
for
will
it for
we
it
will
to happen,
stream every single major event and series event with comms
yeah,
till we take our last breath. So just keep
yeah,
your eyes peeled.
yeah, yes,
And we've
yes,
got some really,
yes,
really good events and a really,
yeah.
really nice
I will.
series of events kind of coming up very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, thank you. And it's a pity no one else joined us in the interview box, yeah? It's just you and me. But I
That's
guess
okay.
it's a bit late for people.
They're away to their bed to cuddle their teddies, whereas I'm going to go down and
Yeah.
have a beer and a cigarette.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside have a cigarette. It's 2:20 in the morning by me, but it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
And yeah, man, well done and congratulations to everybody. And yeah, man, I'm sure you'll be seeing us again. So thank you very much.
We're not
And
really looking forward to it, but thank you very much all the same.
yeah, no worries, man. And to everybody who raced, thank you for finishing and enjoy your weekend.
Right. Cheers, Jazz. Thanks,
Cheers, man.
buddy.
Cheers, man. Bye bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
So that's it, guys. We've had a wee interview from the winners. That was fantastic and great for Jazz to. Apologies on the sort of technical mishap. We're trying to get him into the chat, but that's it. His bane is gone. We got a little bit of insight as to how these aliens work. I think the key to it is preparation and having a team of really fast guys. So, hi, 2:20 in the morning for Jazz. What is it for me? It's only midnight. My night starts at midnight. So, again, guys, thank you very much for sticking with me to the end. We've got more events coming, like I says. So, please, please, please get yourselves onto our Discord, see the sign-ups page, go and have a look and see what's going on. And that's it for the FRL Racing League Endurance Swap main event. Thanks for taking part. I bid you adieu. Thanks, guys. Good night. Bye bye.